Hello, hello. I hope everyone can hear me. Welcome. Welcome to Let Your Mayhem Be Known. You guys come on in and get settled. I'm going to open up the chat, and if you guys can hear me, please type in there, yes, I can hear you, because we've been having some production issues lately. All right, so I'm so excited for tonight. I have the best guest, someone I've been really waiting for and saving tonight for. This is someone that has been inspiring me for so long. And I can't believe that she said yes. So, oh man, she's all giggling. All right, so you guys come on in, get comfy, type. Let's see. I don't see the chat. I don't know. Let's see comments. All right. Hey, y'all. I think we're good. If you guys can hear me, say yes. Type it in the chat. I can hear you. Somebody. Anybody. All right. Well, welcome, guys. I can't wait to bring our guest in. So come on in. And, of course, I'm your host. I'm DJ. After a little bit of getting through the technical audio stuff, we're here every Monday night with a new guest who has a powerful story. You guys, most of everyone here knows who this is. If you don't, I don't know where you've been at, because you should. She has an incredible story and needs to be heard. We need to promote it. She supports mental health awareness and advocacy. We're here to talk about disability trauma. We like to break stereotypes. We're here to break stigmas, share experiences, and have these difficult conversations. So I always add the trigger warning and use discretion in the conversation. It could be a little bit difficult and mature. So everyone's got their drink and welcome. Yes, I got a yes. Thank you, Steve. He said yes. He hears me. So this is great. Fantastic. Okay, so if you guys are new to my live stream, please don't forget to tap the subscribe button on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch and Facebook. I'm streaming to 3 platforms, and I'm waiting on LinkedIn Live. We'll see. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. Or you can check out my webpage, silverfoxtalks.com. Okay, so that's out of the way. Thank you for your support. We're going to go ahead and bring in our guest. I think we have made her wait long enough. I think I've just rambled for about a minute and a half. And I want to get the conversation started. People are starting to say hi. All right, so if everyone's ready, let's get our fun, I hope, on, and here we go. Let's see. Where are you, my dear? You're
cracking up.
I know.
My daughter just was like, peace, I'm out. She came over for dinner. She's like, I'm not wanting to listen to anything that my mom has to say.
Oh, that's all right. Well, it's just going to be like one quick hour. It'll be a breeze. We're going to chit-chat.
It's all good. I'm just laughing because you're like, I can't believe that she said yes.
Well, this goes back to, we got to talk back to like 6 months ago. Like I have to do the time lapse and go rewind. And it's like where I was, and you were like the very first person I ever reached out to on LinkedIn.
It's hard for me to comprehend that I literally was the first person you reached out to on LinkedIn. So weird.
First Zoom call, like one of those LinkedIn Zoom calls. And I was like, I'm having a Zoom call. I don't know what I'm going to talk about on the Zoom call. I'm just going to be just me, nervous and scared. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Help me with my branding. And, we just kind of kept in contact. So I hope you like my branding.
You did a fantastic job. And I didn't even give you any advice.
But you inspired me.
I just go for it. Well, that's right there. I was like, just go for it, be you, and that's what you've done is you went for it, and you're just being yourself. So what more could you ask for? Oh, wait, I'm in a meeting, but I'm listening.
Yeah. See, he was waiting for us. Yeah. And you're like my first guest that has I think Hispanic. So Latinas, today we're representing some Latin power.
And today, it's funny, I had a conversation with a 12-year-old, and we were talking about La Llorona, the Mexican. Oh, yes. And so I totally botched it. I was like, isn't she the one that you look in the mirror and whatever? And her mom's in the background like, no, that's Bloody Mary. I'm like,
Yeah, that was cute. And then the little boy, he's been on your show 3 times now, so he had like a little
Jason, Mike Skiba's son, who was technically my first guest, and I just posted our 5th conversation yesterday.
5th? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
wow.
Because now they like, he and Natasha, another one, Natasha, they both like will ask me like, hey, can I come back on? So I love that they reach out to me. Hey, Gabe.
Oh, thank you, Gabe.
I'm like, thank you. That's very sweet.
You're sweet. Miss you. Hope you're doing good. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely want to get talking to that about that YouTube and all the kids and all the great work you're doing. I mean, you're changing lives. I know everyone's like in there. Oh, there's Travis. Yeah. I mean, it's been like, you've been like really helping these kids out and they're growing and just, you know, you're letting their voices and their experiences being validated and shared. So it's like really beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it just kind of, it was one of those things where everybody who knows me on here can attest to the fact that I love to talk. And
me too.
That's mine, Steve. Those are three. I haven't hung them up. But yeah, everyone's like, oh, well, you love to talk, you should have a LinkedIn Live, you should have a podcast, but I like to be different. So I was like, not to, you know, diminish like what you guys are doing, but I was like, yeah, you know, and then not only that, I was like,
that's awesome. I
want to be able to talk to people that are playful and fun. And let's be honest, not many adults are that fun or playful anymore.
Right. No, here I am talking about trauma. And,
yeah, no, but
you know, like
I wanted something just more lighthearted and just talking about things that I don't know where the conversation is going to go instead of with a podcast or live, usually the guest knows what the conversation is going to be about. It's usually about them promoting themselves. And I was like, I don't want that either. So with kids, I just thought, well, if I just have conversations with kids and we just talk about everything and anything, like it just sounded fun to me. And so I started doing it. And it's taking off in a way where now I have people reaching out to me like, I would love for you to talk to my kid, because there's so many kids out there that are so extremely talented too. And so they themselves want to showcase what they're doing. Yeah, it's been really fun. And it's cute because I even had Brittany Snow's sister on today, and she was the sweetest thing ever, because she's like, I was really nervous. I'm like, why were you nervous? She's like, well, when my sister told me that you wanted me to be on your YouTube channel, she's like, I was freaking out. I go, what do you mean you were freaking out? She's like, I was just freaking out because I was like, she wants me to be on her channel. I'm like, why wouldn't I? Like,
oh, that's so sweet.
And,
build that confidence in those kids.
Yeah, but it goes to show you that these kids, you know, still kind of feel like someone wants to listen to what I have to say, or they actually want to talk to me. You know, that's the whole point of this channel, is to have these kids feel worthy and feel heard and all of those things. So I'm absolutely loving it. And I mean, I had a conversation with a girl 2 days ago who's like officially my hero. She's a little astronomer. She's 11 years old, and already like the amount.
Yeah, that was a longer interview. That was an hour.
Well, and I didn't even realize it was an hour. Finally, I was like, you know what? I like to keep these at a half hour. And then when I downloaded from Zoom, I was like, holy crap, this was like almost an hour. And she could have kept going, and that's why I'll have her on again. But I mean, I stopped recording. I started telling her how proud I was, and I just literally started crying. And I was like, I know you must think I'm a weirdo that I'm crying, and I'm not your parent. Like, I just met you. I was like, but I just want you to know that I'm so impressed by you that it's like I'm feeling a lot of like emotional stuff right now. And I'm just so happy. And she's like, okay.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I watched a good chunk of it, and super intelligent, well-spoken.
Yeah,
she's phenomenal. So she's got like big dreams. Like, how can you not just want to support that?
This girl's going to be like an astronaut someday, or she's going to be something for NASA, and I'm going to be like, I want a conversation with that girl when she was 11.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be like that with a lot of these kids.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know. You're having some little like little thing in the background, but I don't know if that's something that you hear or if that we hear it. I don't know.
I do hear that little humming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I don't know what.
Yeah, apparently all your guys out there are like wondering what's the issue.
I don't know what the issue is. Fix it.
Just I
don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't. For all nice folks out there, let's see what Jackie's saying. LinkedIn, please. Thank you. Yes, Jackie. Aww. I'm waiting for LinkedIn Live to get pizza. Yeah, I'm waiting for LinkedIn Live. I've applied, so second try. Here we go. You know, I'm just gonna keep tagging them and letting them know.
Yeah, it's super wonky, isn't it? With like LinkedIn Live, whether or not they take you or not. Ray, he like tried it for months and months and months, and he finally got it, but he hasn't used it. Yeah, I have no desire to have a live stream. None whatsoever.
No, you're doing good things on YouTube. You're doing great things on YouTube.
I'll focus on the kids.
Yeah, focus on the kids.
She's like, oh, have you ever thought about doing like a live with the kids? I said, yeah, no, you know. And then it was really funny too, because she was like, yeah, I listened to you on a live with my sister. I'm like, wait, you literally listened to like a LinkedIn Live with me on it? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I hope I wasn't inappropriate because I can be inappropriate on those LinkedIn Lives.
Do not, yeah. Well, not on LinkedIn. Let's be inappropriate. Oh, yeah. Talk about inappropriate. Let's talk a little about drinking because we got wine. We got wine and I think we're gonna have a drink. It's drink time. I want to drink. Cheers to you, girl. Dude. I know, guys. Background maracas. Hey, Latinas in the house. I
was gonna say it's very fitting since you've got two Latinas with the maracas.
I don't know what to do.
Oh, it's getting better. It's like slowly starting to fade. It's fading. That's good. It's loud.
All right. Cheers. Oh, thank you. Cheers. That's right.
I can't get pizza off my brain. Well, because of pizza, I spent my Valentine's Day yesterday in bed all day. I did not eat all day. I think as I'm getting older, TMI, I think tomato sauce, I can't eat tomato sauce. The acid in it and everything like that, I ate it Saturday night by myself, and while I was binging Marvel movies.
I hear the sound again. Yeah, Spider-Man was on last night or something.
Oh,
I watched the one with Miles Morales. So hey, I know that's a really good one for the kids
I'm
too.
doing them all in chronological order on Disney Plus because one of my 12-year-olds from Rock the Boat. She got me hooked on Mandalorian and Star Wars, so now she has me hooked on WandaVision.
Yeah.
So then I just figured, I didn't realize that WandaVision was basically picking up the last Marvel movie, Endgame. I had no idea about the timeline, so now I'm watching all the Marvel movies so I can get an idea.
How they go. Yeah, I heard her talking about it, and I was like, okay, I don't really know too much about all the characters.
Never got the line in a live painting.
Yeah, like what is it? Twist, painting with a twist or something.
Yeah,
one of those like painting and drinking places.
Over there, I had like, if I go like that, I have other ones down. Like I'm just like surrounded by all my paintings.
Beautiful.
Great if I just knocked over everything.
Hey, there's Karina. Hi, Karina.
Hi, Karina. But yeah, so tonight I will be finishing Thor because I started Thor today.
Mm-hmm.
Super hot.
I was watching Aquaman the other day.
Oh yeah? Okay. Well, is he part of the Avengers?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of movies that I have to watch. So yeah. And then why did Gabe also spend his Valentine's Day in bed?
Oh, is that what he said? Let me see. Where's that?
Bed with me because it says I also spent my Valentine's in bed to Raquel. So it's like people are going to think, no, we were in separate beds. You're
in separate sides of the country, right?
Yeah, I'm like, we're in 2 different states.
There you go. Oh, lots of people watching on LinkedIn. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Travis. We appreciate that.
You on LinkedIn, like we can't see what you're saying, so I apologize if there's like people on there that I'm not saying hi to.
I know, that's one thing. I'm like really waiting for LinkedIn Live, but hey, what can you do? You just kind of got to keep going.
Don't you know people in high places? No?
Not me.
I know, I'm trying to think like who, yeah, I don't know. I would think at this point, whoever would be able to get you like on at the top of the list right now, I would have thought so.
It's okay. You know, I'm just doing the old-fashioned way, apply. I think they changed the application too.
Oh, really? What do you mean?
They just simplified it quite a bit.
Oh,
okay. Like they took off a bunch of space to kind of give a whole description. It's really asks for your LinkedIn page.
Oh,
it asks.
Stopped. The maracas just stopped.
What is going on?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what to do. I don't.
Oh, well, it just got fixed, Gabe.
I'll fix this problem next week, DJ. Thank you, Gabe. You haven't been around, my big brother. Oh, here we go. I see Miss Nancy. Okay. Where is she? There she is. On Twitch. I can read Nancy's comments now. We can't on LinkedIn. I'm so sorry.
And I have yet to get on Twitch. The only time I go on to Twitch is like as a guest to watch my brother DJ when he's on Drag TV Live.
Oh. Can we find him and drop it in the comments?
He's like does guest DJing, so I don't really know how that works. Yeah, he's on Twitch. How do you find accounts on Twitch?
Mm-hmm. Like you just search it, you know, just drop the handle like mine. If you search Silver Fox Talks, then you can just find me. Everyone, it just depends what his handle is, just like any other.
DJ Stanley Frank on there, I think.
We'll see if somebody can find it. Let the people in the comments find it. And
you can find my brother, DJ Stanley Frank. I'm
still trying to get the production.
Yeah, because I know he does Twitch because, like I said, with his whole DJing and stuff, he's always a guest. And it works out because, like, you can Venmo tips and everything. So when he does his little stints, he actually gets a good amount of tips.
Yeah, Twitch is much more interactive. I mean, there's like emotes and then there's like these bits, these things you can buy that kind of actually like you're contributing and you're donating to that channel. So
isn't Twitch where he buys like subs, or is that Discord, or which one is the one?
Both. I mean, it's just like any other platform where if you're if they have like some more like internet work where you can buy that subscription to have extra features. It just depends. Like I don't. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm not like super knowledgeable in it, but but Twitch is just fun. I like in the past I've said like I like video games, and it's one of my ways to relax is video games. So Twitch is fun, but it's expanding. It's like more artists are going on Twitch, people they're cooking and listening to music and dancing around. So it's broadening away from just like gamers specifically streaming their gameplay.
But Discord's the same thing though, kind of.
No, Discord's different. I think that's more like a chatty place, like a place where you just chit chat and you just communicate. It's like more like a communicator.
Oh, okay.
Within people on a common ground, a common theme, a common interest.
I see Stanley Frank Sensation. I think that's what it is, Nancy. Stanley Frank.
Yes. Way more game than gamers. Yeah. Nick's gonna start a cooking show, so we'll see.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Well, he cooks, so.
Stanley Frank Sensation. See if that's what he pulls up on, because that's like his Instagram handle.
All right, Travis's description.
Like Facebook groups. Interesting. Okay, I have Slack. And I have Zoom, but I don't like Facebook groups. Maybe that's why I didn't like Discord.
I think Facebook groups is like hanging out in your grandma's like living room.
Okay. I did have fun though the one night that I was on there. But we had a bunch of fun. Like, were you on there when we were
you, Karina.
Games?
Say that again. I was reading Karina's comment.
One night that I actually went on Discord. It was after Judy Fox was on Gabe's Live, and there was a bunch of us that went over there. You were in it, weren't you? And we were playing games. Okay. Either way, like I had fun. I realized like, okay, if all these games are really fun, but then Enrique hacked our games. Like he wasn't in it, but yet his name was in there and he was like hacking it from somewhere else. I was like, Enrique? I'm like, how is Enrique like playing this game when he's not actually in the room? It was weird.
That Travis would have to follow. He's like that super producer that takes care of all that for everyone. Like organizes everything. And Nick, so between both of them, they handle that business. So chat channels like Slack. Okay.
So Enrique has everything. Okay, well that's good to know.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's fun. All right. So we're gonna bring in an extra guest. Oh! Yay! This is gonna be fun. So you know what? We haven't even like talked about it, but we're gonna talk about your past a little bit because like that's really why you're here. And we've just been chit-chatting and we haven't really like stayed to true form, but I know it doesn't matter. It's all good. I think we should just get like this a little bit wilder. So you know what? Let's bring in Nancy.
When you said a guest, I was like,
it's gotta be. It's gotta be. Who else would it be?
Hi.
Who would it be? So happy to have you. Thank you, Nancy, for joining me, Raquel.
It's so good to see you, ladies. I feel like it's been a while.
I know. Everyone's busy.
I just talked to you this morning, Nancy.
Okay, but I didn't see you. Why am I friends with you?
Look, you guys have been friends for so long.
We brought you on to be like.
But I mean, you guys are like, you two have inspired me both. So Nancy was my first guest. When I heard her, met her, I was just like, I cannot believe this amazing woman. Just like the same thing I thought about Raquel. So you guys have been such a huge part of this for me. And I cannot thank you enough. I cannot show my appreciation, my gratitude. So I'm just happy to have you guys here. Raquel's been such a leader, you know?
She definitely draws people in.
I'm not a leader, I'm just a bad influence. We've all agreed.
Either way, we're following you one way or the other. Down the wrong path. What's the difference?
Fun path though, hey.
Always a fun path. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have shared so much, and for me to just be able to share these couple of months and moments, I'm just truly blessed. You guys have taught me so much, and you guys have allowed me to grow and develop and open my heart and my mind. So I just,
should be right. We should be supporting one another, especially as women, and encouraging and all of those things. Like that's what it should be all about. So it's funny when we get like super surprised, right? Like, wow, this female isn't in competition with me, or she's not jealous or insecure. Like she actually is like wants me to do well. I mean, I'm very blessed that I've had that's been Nancy for me all these years. But unfortunately, there's not a lot of women out there that can say that. There's not a lot of women that can say that they've had some real strong friendships that are unconditional, that they're really. It's like,
that abundance mentality that we've talked about before is women, we're in competition, and we're in competition about the wrong things.
Oh God!
And we've been put into competition. I don't even know how we ended up signed up, but if you go with the abundance mentality, then why shouldn't I cheerlead everyone? Why shouldn't I support everyone? And there's room enough for all of us to achieve our goals, even if our goals are very similar. There's just no reason not to. I don't know that I could ever feel good about achieving something by having stepped on someone's, stepped on someone's shoulders, head to get higher, or dimmed anyone's light. It just doesn't sit well with me.
I know.
Like Nancy, you have always, talked about abundance, and you are always the first person I think of. Ever since I came onto LinkedIn and I started meeting people one by one, and you're the one that represents that real, true, wholesome mentality of just, giving, and don't, just because of your past and just because of what you've turned out to be such a giver despite all your background and your hardships and all the difficulties, you just continue to love and give and be generous and appreciative of every moment that you're given. And I know personally, I've taken lots of things for granted. So I've learned just immeasurable amounts of of lessons and just like my values have really deepened, I want to say, because of trying to practice more of these values that you have inspired me to continue to practice on. Does that make sense? Oh man, I don't know.
Stop already. What I'm going to say to you is it's already in you. I mean, maybe I've inspired it, maybe I've awakened it, but honestly, I think it's in you, and this is when it was meant to shine. I mean, the things you're doing are creating that space for you. So I appreciate being given some credit, and I will support you all the way. But it's always been within you. That's you. That's you, girl.
Thank you. No, absolutely. I mean, I appreciate that. I try to accept compliments when given, but I also want to pay, you know, my gratitude, and you inspire me. But then, you know, we always turn around and try to help out others that are coming behind us and say, come on, you can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it. I was a shaking ball of nerves.
I know, but look at how quickly you've, like, you know, grown up.
I guess.
I would have never thought, like, because you just started. What? I mean, it's only been like a month.
Yeah.
A month or.
Yeah. So this is episode 5.
Yeah. I mean, so look at you. You're killing it already.
But I'm comfortable. You guys make me feel so comfortable. Aww. And, you know, I've already had these moments and experiences and this connection. So it really is easier. If it was somebody that I don't really know, it might be a little bit more difficult. But I planned this today on purpose because I knew that, you know, it's Friendship Week or kindness. What is it? Oh my God, let me check the calendar.
All the days like donut day and pizza day. And
yeah, and Nancy's like, it's not Valentine's, it's just February 14th day. I'm like, okay.
What's the day, you know, Oreo day, you know,
like cat day, you know, those kinds of things. Stay in bed day, drink wine day. I'm interested in that.
I mean,
well, the February 14th thing is there's so much pressure around Valentine's Day of like to be coupled up and to be celebrating this like piece. I know, Raquel, you're making the same face I spent the day in bed yesterday by choice because I could, and I didn't have to get dressed and primp and go out for dinner or do anything because I wasn't coupled. I could just do what I wanted to do. But
I've never celebrated Valentine's Day not even with my ex-husband. So for me, Valentine's Day is it's a yucky holiday for me. So I ignore it. I'm like such a bitch where if someone wishes me happy Valentine's Day, I'll be like, thank you. But I don't purposely wish people Valentine's Day on it. Like it's just not, I don't know. I'm not a big fan.
I grew up with Valentine's Day being a non-holiday. My dad still to this day brings my mom flowers for no reason, like at least once a week.
Yeah, your parents have always been like super cutie romantic.
Yeah, they're super cutie romantic, but my dad will not bring my mom flowers or do anything like that on Valentine's Day because his thing is if I'm being told to do it, doesn't count for very much. Exactly. And so that's why he does it all the other times that's, you know, I'm not being told to, I want to, and I'm thinking of you. And, you know, that's how I grew up with Valentine's Day. So, you know, those grand gestures for Valentine's Day, they might be fun, but that's not what it's built on. And you know what I celebrated yesterday? All the love in my life. It's not about just having a partner. It's about having the community that I have around me. And I always have love in my life because of that. And so, you know.
That's why you're here, both of you.
And I mean, Nancy, we should share a story about Valentine's Day for you. Let's get real here.
What am I not remembering?
How you met Jeb was on his.
Oh, that's true. Oh, wow.
Yeah, like Valentine's Day is also kind of a.
Valentine's Day is a little, it's.
Sorry, I don't mean to like open up like.
Oh, no. You know.
It is part of your story.
It is. I have no problem discussing it. It's definitely, Valentine's Day is a weird day for me. I met my ex-husband at a Valentine's Day singles party. Like one of his friends had a party and said, you know, invite single people. And a friend of ours from UCLA happened to be working for this same woman. And so, you know, the negotiations to get me to go to a singles party was quite comical because I was like, I'm not going. That's pathetic. And she's like, I'll buy the dress. Still not going. What really tipped the scales was she said she would do my laundry for a month.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Nelia? Was it Nelia?
Was it Nelia?
I think so. Like, it's so fuzzy. So that day, yes, I met my ex-husband that day, but it's also significant in that my divorce finalized exactly 18 years to the day that I met my ex-husband. Wow. So the universe really
like you've got, that's how I was like.
And I closed on my house in Las Vegas. It's all the same. They're all
And that is like kooky.
That's the universe telling me that I'm good. Like, you completed this, it's on the right date. And here we're resetting it. Here's this thing that you did by yourself, as a single woman, that you were so worried about, what would become of you after your divorce. And, one of the hard things for me in my divorce was losing my home. I loved my home and my house. And that was really hard for me. And I can't even explain why this place, but this place was just very special to me. And my goal of buying a house was that I never wanted someone to take away, like rip out my place to live from underneath me. Like, a breakup should not mean that I have nowhere to live. So right. My goal was to buy the house in Vegas so that anytime I have somewhere to go. I'm not, dependent on a relationship or anything like that. I always have my home. I also always end up on Raquel's couch, but there's
always an extra bedroom. I don't know.
The couch is comfortable. Yeah. So, February, my birthday, and then the significance of the stuff around Valentine's Day. It's been, those are dates that are really, the universe continues to remind me that I'm hard choices, but they were really good choices.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
I know. It's crazy. Just even the growth in the last 3 months is just.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, what has gone on?
No, I was talking with someone today. I had 2 different shows. I did Mark Lee's live, and then I did Jeffrey Johnston. We recorded, but that seems to be a theme right now for me. And I do appreciate it. Like, it's insane that I've only been on the platform. I mean, it's less than 3 months, because it was November 11th was the XXO Connect Telethon. And the welcome, the generosity of the community, the way my stories, the way I've been received is.
It's important. It's important to support. It's important to listen.
Yeah, I'm abundance and amplify. Yeah, I'm definitely all about abundance and amplify, because that's what's been done for me, and those have always been important things for me. But this, this journey has been incredible. And I am going to say it again, and I've said it many times, and I said it today, Raquel, that you were right. I was wrong.
Well, it's not that you were wrong.
But it makes it sound better if I let you know that, you really, okay, fine. You were right. Because for a very long time, Raquel was trying to get me on LinkedIn. And I knew that what she was doing on LinkedIn was not just business related. I mean, I would hear all the stories of the friendships and the things that were going on. But I still was not interested in LinkedIn. And so then she forced me on LinkedIn, which sounds terrible, but she did.
I mean, sometimes you got to just be thrown to the wolves. And
sometimes I need to be pushed out of my comfort zone, and, or told. We were talking the other day, I told, Raquel, be honest with me when, I'm doing something that isn't good, right, or in my best interest, even though I want it to be. But she created a post on LinkedIn and basically said, hey, everyone, welcome my best friend to Nancy Barrows to LinkedIn, connect with her. And so that started it, and that was it. So I will forever be grateful for that. There's so many reasons to be grateful. And actually that connected me to you, DJ, really quickly. I don't remember what show we were on, but there was accountability talk and accountability buddies. And I'm like, I'm an accountability buddy. And DJ was like, I'll be your accountability buddy. And there you go. That's what we did.
Here we are. Oh, Chantel. Hi. That is the most sweetest surprise to see. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for stopping.
She's another one on this platform.
She's a busy bee, so
she's another one that is all about supporting other women and about encouraging and about just, shining the light on others. So she's she's a freaking powerhouse. And so to be able to call her a friend and have her in my corner is like everything. Cause I used to follow her. I was connected to her for a while, and I just was and then somehow we ended up connected. We had a call, and I was like, okay, she's the real deal. Cause you know, you have those connections that you look up to in a certain light, and then you actually get to meet them, and you're like, they didn't really live up to what you thought. And she's definitely someone that not only lived up to it but exceeded it, and
yeah,
and the humility, like that comes with it, like, you know, that there's a I'm no better than mentality when, you know, it just is amazing to me, like that piece of that comes out here. And I have never met the abundance of women that I have met here that are that type of woman. I mean, Raquel is, you know, one of like 3 people in my life, and as far as women go, that like I have really close relationships with, where you can say anything without judgment. They'd be there at the drop of a hat, zero competition, amazing cheerleaders. And I just, in the short time being here, I mean, women like you, DJ, like Chantel, that are that woman that I have been missing from my life, really, really missing that from my life. And so it's been this LinkedIn thing has been so multifaceted in the ways it has added to my life. It's really incredible. But that's the thing, is like, we are women that support each other. We're women that are going to break that mold of competition. We're women that are going to, you know,
change the conversation, change the trajectory for others with our stories and sharing those experiences and saying, you know, I've been through this. I know there's other people that have been through it too. There's no reason to be in shame, hide in shame, or have guilt over those experiences, and hold that.
And that's another thing, like why Chantel is like one of the most amazing human beings, because you look at her, she's obviously stunning, absolutely gorgeous, such a sweetheart, but she's gone through a lot, and she still is going through a lot. And there's a lot there that people don't see, because, you know, she happens to physically look a certain way, but you know what I mean? And that's also another thing with her. When she shares her story, and it goes to show you that you cannot judge a book by its cover. You cannot assume that you know what people are going through. Like, everybody has their stuff.
Absolutely.
Definitely one of them, but she's a class act. As you can see, I'm a huge fan of hers. And I'm like,
I know.
The fact that she would even get on the live stream to support, like, that's
it. I know.
My heart is all warm and fuzzy right now, because
that's wine.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, complimentary. Okay, fangirling.
I filled it up at the beginning for her, and I've only had like 2 sips.
Oh, well, I mean, we can have it.
Tell it's not the wine.
No, I mean, but these conversations are so important, because I mean, we've touched on so many different things, and it's things that we can all relate to. I mean, without saying specific words, it's things like, yeah, you know, I know what they're talking about. Me too. It's okay. Been there, you know, like, they understand. We keep moving forward. We keep doing our best. But I like to lead with compassion. My job, my profession, it's compassion, and just trying to listen and not, I mean, we're all human, so of course there's always like judgment and projection and all that stuff that we carry, the ego as humans, but really trying to always take that out and just in true form, just be there and listen and be compassionate and just encouraging and supportive of others without strings attached and expectations and
without attach or an agenda. Like, that's
an agenda, right?
Giving just to give, right?
There's an agenda behind it. When someone's like really nice and supportive, you're like, wait a minute, like,
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like giving just to give, like literally giving just to give. And
absolutely,
that's pretty amazing. And that's
the only reason I'm here. I mean, I work full time, but this is with a purpose for others to share. I mean, we really haven't touched on Raquel's story, so I hope we get to it. We're like,
so it's all good.
I mean, it's like, it's out there.
Let's talk about Raquel's story
real quick. Come on, friendship. So just go into true friendship form, like back the college, the hardships. Talk about some of the mental health for me. You guys can't come on here without talking about some of that mental health stuff you've been through. But, you know, you've gotten through it and you're here and you guys supported each other. And it goes back to that compassion. What we always talk about every show, we end up talking about support systems. It's inevitable that it's hard to succeed if you don't have support systems or supports in place.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, I met Nancy, it was my freshman year. So Nancy was a junior, I was a freshman, and we were in the same sorority house. And at the time, see, that's the thing is, like, for me, it's all a blur. It really is for me, like the line of my depression and all of that. But I do know when I met Nancy, did it take you all to open up to me? See, that's the thing is I don't know, because I know that we joke around how I was intimidated by you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, first of all, she was a junior, I was a freshman. She's from New York. She's wearing like boots, combat boots, and like, you know, the typical V-neck t-shirt with the flannel and the leggings. And it just like the whole vibe, like I wasn't used to that. I mean, I was very sheltered, and I went to like a private school and all those things. And so I was kind of intimidated, not thinking like she was mean or anything. And not only that, the friends that she was with, the sort of
horrible.
Like, they were pretty intense, where one of them was dating the quarterback of the football team. The other one was
generous.
That's generous. Sleeping with.
You're accurate. Yeah, it's funny because I was East Coast. I came in through like the grunge era, and I was lace up, steel-toed, knee-high Doc Martens, and everybody's walking around in their flip-flops.
Love those docs.
I was such a priss, like, and so for me, that was intimidating, and I don't know how, Nancy, like, I don't know how we started talking or becoming friends. I don't, once again.
I'm going to guess because I don't remember like the actual evolution of it.
No, it's okay.
But the first year I was at UCLA, I was really unhappy. I had a roommate that it was a very challenging situation. And I was ready to go back home and not stay at UCLA because I hadn't made any good connections. And my mom, in her wisdom and probably frustration with me moving coast to coast all the time, said, no, you have to go back. You can't decide in 1 year, that you like it or don't like it. So it went back. But that second year, I moved into the sorority house I was living in. And
I was living in my sophomore year.
So was Courtney. Yeah. And so was Courtney.
So then it was your senior year, my sophomore year?
Yeah. But don't forget, I took 5 years to graduate.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to, because that was the only year I lived in the sorority house was my sophomore year when Courtney was in there and everything. Okay. So then that's.
Well, you know what? We may have started to become friends through Wendy the year before.
Maybe.
Because I lived with Wendy and Courtney that first quarter.
And you know what? It could have been that whole football connection.
Yeah.
Because I was friends with Rodney and all those guys. And then, obsessed with Ryan. Wendy was dating Ted. And
girl talk.
You say nobody cares about this. We're going into details that nobody cares about. But then there was that day. Do you remember that day?
You guys are wearing
that shirt.
I think it was the football connection. I think that's.
Neither of us really remember how we became friends, and I don't remember how long it took me to open up to Raquel. I just know for as long as I can remember, she's been my person. She's been my person, and we've been through. You're right. We've been through a lot together.
It's just live, we're having just a chit chat conversation.
Like, even if we weren't live, this would be me like, oh, the men.
Normal. This is completely normal, but
but this is normal, and this is about friendship. So I mean, it was just having to share, like, everybody encouraging each other and how we got this far, and like how you guys have been there for each other throughout all these years and all these difficult times. And it just seems like so.
We've been really lucky to cycle against each other, actually. So I don't think we were ever both depressed at the same time.
No, that's what I mean. Like, I'm trying to think because. Yeah. My junior year, I moved into the Pi Phi Palace with like Danica and those Pi Phi. Right. But that's when I started feeling, because I was having a lot of insomnia. Mm-hmm. And where were you living?
It was at the sorority house still. I finished. I lived my last the rest of UCLA in. I lived in the sorority house.
Okay, yeah. So I know that because even Danica to this day will tell me, she's like, I didn't really realize it, but you did sleep a lot and you were kind of like in bed a lot. But yeah, I just remember like my sleep sucked. Like I remember calling my dad and be like, I have insomnia, this and that, and all that. And so I do remember like I started getting into a little bit of a funk because that's when I was talking the other day where I was on a double date, and I just remember feeling miserable about myself. I didn't feel attractive. I didn't feel any of those things. And here I was on a double date with like Dean Martin's grandson and, you know, music producer. Remember that guy that I went to church with? He was like, remember I had my stand. That was another thing too. I had this whole, I was so lost. I did the whole church thing with all those guys. Remember?
No, I remember, because you were raised with a choice, but you were never given enough information on anything.
No, and I just remember being lost. So that I remember, like, you know, thinking, oh, I'm going to be a born again Christian, or I'm going to and so that's like when I can remember it started, and then I don't know where you were.
I mean, you know, I was raised in a religious home and the religious background, so you know that the impositions of religion and those, you know, what to believe, you got to believe what we believe, and you have to believe this because you have to.
But
you know, so you really need to explore to find your own.
Well, my mom's Catholic, so I went to a Jewish private school, so I didn't grow up like a specific religion, so I still was kind of confused. And then here I'm in college, and here I'm lost. And I'm going to the Bel Air Presbyterian Church with like a bunch of football guys that became like born again Christians. Remember all those like Bride and Roma? Remember that whole like group?
I do.
So I'm going there because I'm thinking like, oh, maybe these are my people, and this is where I'm gonna like find something. And that didn't work. And I think that's just when I just started going downhill.
When we lived together, you were.
Because that was next year.
Oh yeah, the next year you were doing a lot of cycling. Like you would be like not in I won't say bipolar, but you would get really manic.
Would I?
And you'd be up all night, or you'd be working like you would go to the gym, the 24-hour fitness, like in the middle of the night. Do you remember that?
I kind of do, yeah.
Yeah, you were really, and I didn't, and we joke all the time, I didn't recognize and I didn't know what I know now, like the OCD thing, the way that Courtney and I used to mess with you, like now understanding what it is, like it wasn't funny. You know, we were doing these things and we thought they were funny. So Raquel's closet was very organized, not only by color, but spacing in hangers and things like that. And she would go home to San Diego and we would move things around and push things together. And it's like, if I had the understanding of like what anxiety that was causing her, you know, and how.
Yeah, you don't know back then.
You know, I didn't. And that's one of the reasons we need to have conversations because, you know, hey, why didn't I, or why couldn't I have known in college, right? There's no reason I couldn't have been more sensitive to that. I just didn't have the opportunity.
I think part of is having more conversations so people hear, like, you know, I've noticed that, you know, you're not sleeping and, you know,
I didn't
just being able to wear different signs.
Well, too, though, that's the thing, too, is like you could be living with someone and still feel really well.
I was like 8 feet away from you. We shared a room.
We shared a room.
And I don't remember
class or work or whatever, and I would just go back into bed and I would sleep all day. Little did they know that I literally was in bed all day long. And then she'd come home and be like, "What'd you do?" And I'd just come up with stupid.
Right. I had no idea. And this is my best friend. I had no idea she was lying to me. I had no idea that she was hiding what was really going on for her. I understand how that is easy to do. I've done it in my life too. But you know, it's a little scary when people, you know, when you don't want other people to know what you're going through, we can be really good at concealing it. And so, you know, that's hard. You don't know what's going on. And so, yeah, I mean, I was living, you know, 8 feet away, sleeping every night from my best friend who was suffering, and I had no clue.
You never. I think too, because like even the night that everything went down, like you came back home. I don't know where you guys were, because Logan took me out to coffee. Because he's like, you need to get out of this apartment. And he like, and this is an ex-boyfriend who I still keep in touch with. Like, and at the time, like we weren't dating, we were just friends, and he knew. And I just remember him calling me up and be like, I'm getting you out of here.
That's so nice. Someone that was able to recognize.
Yeah, but unfortunately, like poor guy, he recognized it. And then yet that night I went home and was like, all right, I'm done. Like this is it. Like, I hope he doesn't think it was like him to do with it. But I was just trying to think about it because I just remember being in the apartment for a really long time by myself. Like, I think he might have given me a bottle of wine, and I drank the bottle of wine. And then that's what I was like, all right, I'm doing this. And I grabbed all my pills. And then I thought what I was grabbing all of your pills it was your Advil. Here, I thought I was taking your antidepressants too. But I just remember like it seemed like a very long process. So you guys must have been out, and I guess must have.
I think when you finally took the pills and drank the wine, I was home asleep, I believe. But yeah, I don't know where we were before that. I don't know if I was dating someone and out or at the neighbor's house or whatever I was doing at the time. But because I remember you telling me at the time, and I have hard time
with us too. Courtney, our other best friend, like
yeah, we were. But if it was a weekend, Courtney was there. No, I called Courtney in the sorority house. I had to call Courtney in the sorority house to tell her.
Yeah, because I just remember the next day I woke up at like 5 p.m. because I'd slept obviously all day. And that's when I was like, Nancy, I'm pretty sure I said, Nancy, I did something really stupid last night. And then
what happened was, so you explained in the middle of the night, you got up and you were euphoric when you decided to do it. You were dancing around the apartment and you were feeling like, really euphoric, and you took stuff and got back in bed. And I was in grad school at the time. So I got up in the morning and snuck out and went to school. And by the time I came back, she was still in bed. And that was not the Raquel I knew. Like Raquel didn't stay in bed and sleep all day or nap. And so I remember going into her room and it was dark and she was in bed and sitting on the bed next to her. And I was like, hey, you okay? And you said, yeah, I did something really stupid. And then you told me, and, we went from there. Yeah. Thankfully, it was the outcome.
I joke that it goes for damn Advil.
It's so mad.
You must have counteracted something, because when you called UCLA medical,
I called the
center, the ER, you're like, hey, this just happened. They're like, no, just let her
Yeah, basically, if you made it that far, if you were still with us at that point, then you were just going to have to metabolize what it was and, write it out for now.
Yeah, and then Chantel's like, this is so interesting. So we're open to share what you're doing today to stay balanced. You know what? I'll be honest. I think a lot had to do with the fact that, like, how antidepressants in the beginning will give you suicidal thoughts. I truly believe that it had a lot to do with it. And that particular antidepressant, Paxil, to this day is known. There's a lot of class action suits against Paxil, and that's what I was taking. And I was already going to therapy like once or twice a month. Like, so I was already like doing work because it was clear that I was not in the right frame of mind. So then when I got on those antidepressants, it was within the first 2 weeks I was on them. So I truly believe that had a lot to do with it. And, I'm very open and vocal about the fact that I have yet to go on any kind of pill ever since. I refuse to, because obviously they are experience. Not diminishing that you should. I'm just saying that from I truly believe that that's what was going on, because I never had any thoughts about that before or after. It was just when I was on the meds. And just to kind of stay balanced, knowing that I've been in such a dark place, I never want to go back there. And having 2 kids, I don't even allow myself to get. I mean, I have my moments, like, I just like Nancy said, she was in bed yesterday. Like, I have my days where I'm in bed. Like yesterday, I truly had a stomach thing going on. But you know what? Who's to say that even if I didn't have the stomach thing going on, like, I would be in bed anyway, just because I'd be like, screw it. I don't want to have to deal with Valentine's Day. I don't want to see people's social media. Like, there's certain things that I just am like, man.
Yeah, you don't have to do it for yourself.
So one thing I do want to ask is about the art, going back to the art and being balanced. And I know painting's important in your life. So how do you relate painting as to part of how you express your feelings, or how it continues to keep you grounded or in a happy state of mind? What's painting to you? How does painting relate?
Nancy knows this. I'm really bad at expressing my feelings. I'm really bad at feelings, like horrible. So that's kind of like how I express my feelings. Like, I have a painting right here that there's a lot in it and nobody knows it, but it's painted during like a really traumatic experience that I haven't even shared like with the world yet. But that experience is on this painting right here. I can kind of show it to you. Maybe you can see it. So it's that one. Oh gosh, it's that one right there. You can kind of, oh my God, I can't figure out how to get this
higher. You gotta go up.
Up that one.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so there it is. So like that one, I don't know if I would ever sell it, because it's a very like, emotional for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very personal, but yeah, like I just don't know how to express my feelings. So for me, that's why painting is really important. And also dancing, music, because then I can kind of like express the feel through the way I dance. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with those things. But
I think those are
for a long time.
Great.
I have to say that, like Raquel, the painting that I wanted to buy, but you're gifting me for my birthday. One of the reasons I loved it so much is there was a calmness to it. There was a shift in it. And I think it totally matches where you're at and what's been going on with you.
Okay. So what's interesting about this one?
It's softer. It's not as longer and as harsh.
Softer because
hold up. Let's see if I can wait. Okay, there we go.
You can kind of see. This one was interesting because I literally was like, I'm gonna like do whatever to it. Like I try not to have any kind of thought process to it because usually I have like a thought process. And with this one, I don't know what it was. It is very different. I don't know if it's calming, but
for me, like your other paintings have like harsh lines and like you can really feel the emotion and like see it flow through them. And to me, it's the emotion's still there. It's just different. Like it just when you posted it the second I saw it, I'm like, I have to have it because it was really you in this moment. I even asked you to write on the back like a little bit about how you like, and I know not how you're feeling, but what was going on for you when you painted, like where you are now in time. Because I feel like that was your expression of where you're at and that you are just the better place that you keep reaching. You keep reaching, more and more into a place that's where you're fully embodying you and you're fully living your truth and you're fully letting yourself radiate and shine and you are living life by your own rules and you have found true happiness. And I feel like that painting, the shift from what you had been doing traditionally to that one just hit me like I saw it and I was like, yep, that's mine. It has to be mine. So
it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Shanta, what's your kind of music to dance to? Don't make fun of me, but
80s.
80s and once again, something like where it's hard for me to express. And I guess I'm gonna go there. It's really hard for me to express my sexuality in the sense of like, there's something I grew up kind of very much, we don't talk about it, whatever, all that stuff. So I tend to listen to a lot of R&B, hip hop, like very sensual R&B. Even like my mom used to always be like, I don't understand what it is about you and this type of music. And I think it is because it's like that part of me that's I've kind of like suppressed and I don't really, so the dancing to that music is like my way of expressing that part of me.
I think you get with your sensual self that way.
Yeah, like it connects. Yeah, like I'm able to connect with a side of me that I have yet to really explore much. Yeah, so I just went there with that.
I think it's beautiful.
It's not such like a moment. Not about you, but about I'm sure that there are people out there who feel exactly, the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I can be very. You've seen me dance, Nancy. I can be very sensual on the dance floor. I tend to.
And then when you're doing that caressing at night too, right?
I know how to move my hips.
You know how to move every part of your body independent of the other part of your body. Let's face it. Like,
oh my God, I do love me some Warren G, Steve. My pony, not mom pony.
I think we know what you meant. My pony, yes.
But yeah, like I just all that type of music, there's something about it. I feel you. Okay, good, Travis. Thank you.
Music is therapeutic. Art is therapeutic. You express feelings. You express, ideas. You express.
Doing all those type of mediums because it's really to do it myself. I'm hopefully getting there at some point. You're
on your way. Let's be a little bit more definitive. I am on my way to.
Are you going to do anything with your art in the future?
I don't know. I mean,
never thought about it.
I'm shocked.
And
the only reason why I started painting again is I never painted in my marriage at all. It wasn't until after my marriage that a guy that I was in a relationship with was like, paint something for me. I'm like, paint something for you. I've never painted for anybody. He's like, I'd love for you to. I painted him a painting, and then his sister loved it so much she wanted me to paint something. And then that's in that moment where I was like, okay, maybe I should start painting again. So it took somebody that I really liked to do that. And then I kind of never stopped. But it's funny because my ex-husband, he just asked me for a painting. I just gave him a painting just recently, like a month ago. And here, after being divorced for 10 years, I never painted in our home when we were together. And here there's a painting of mine in what used to be like my home. And my son was such a smart ass because he's like, Mom, how does it feel to finally have a painting of yours in your house after so many years of divorce? I'm like, hey, you know what? Better late than never. So it's just kind of funny that, yeah, he has that. I brought him a painting over. Did you know that, Nancy?
You told me recently. Yeah, you told me.
Yeah.
Wow.
The irony of it all.
Right? Who knows? Who knows?
I can keep talking. We are up on an hour, so I don't know. This is not a Gabe live stream. Oh my goodness!
You have to give me that R&B playlist.
Yeah,
I love playlist.
Yeah,
I have to share.
Yeah,
overtime.
Yeah, I mean, because I shared my story, but Nancy, we didn't get into Nancy's part of it at school too, so we can do that.
There we go.
We'll drink to that.
Okay, well, that's two tonight. But I love you. High five. Good job.
You, Nancy. Take it away.
Oh, here we go. My story I've shared before. I know lots of people have heard it, but lots of people haven't. And I'll start by saying that it's not an easy story to receive. Most people have not had a conversation on the topic, have not had, someone they know that's gone through what I've gone through, or at least they don't know they do. And so I like to give everyone permission to receive it however they receive it, whatever comes up for them. If it's, disgust or anxiety or curiosity, it's all good with me. I've been living with it my whole life. So, I remember having those feelings myself at different times. So, again, I'm not insulted if it's hard to receive, but, I was sexually abused by my grandfather till I was 16 years old. And it stopped because a mandated reporter, reported it to Child Protective Services, and it became something that was no longer mine. I guarded the secret as if my life depended on it for 16 years. And it was, now there was talk of me having to testify in court and talk about all this stuff and, let people know what was going on. And I just unleashed, as I felt I had unleashed this on my family and brought all this pain to them. The abridged version is almost immediately I became a really restrictive eater that developed into full-blown anorexia, and cue Raquel to talk about the things I ate that were disgusting.
She loved to put soy sauce on her popcorn, on her salad. Like, I just remember the soy sauce, and then ketchup on everything too. Like, it was gross. Sorry.
No, soy had no calories.
Yeah, soy sauce on popcorn. I was like, ew.
Well, I wasn't going to put butter. I was barely wanting to eat the popcorn. So, I spent a lot of
time. Sodium intake, Nancy.
I know. I didn't care about any of that. Really, part of my biggest concern was that people thought I was eating. One of my most embarrassing or shameful moments at the time was we had gone into Westwood to get Dee Dee Reese. And I think you must have been driving because Courtney and I were on the passenger side, and she caught me spitting out my Dee Dee Reese.
Yeah, I must have been driving them.
Yeah. And so I was like, kind of thing. But yeah, I'd worked very hard to look like I was taking in things and keep to very, low calorie things within the range of what I had. So that went on for many years, my anorexia. And, that was my bid at control, given that I had lost control over my life as it felt, and also to disappear. Like I didn't want to exist. if I could get small enough, I could fall through a crack. Like that would be totally fine. That was part of the struggle within. And then, you want to add to it depression. My sophomore year at George Washington, I went and confronted my grandfather, and my mom and dad did come with me, and it's a whole story in and of itself. But my grandfather admitted to like one time kind of thing. And it was something that I didn't remember. And so it precipitated my major depressive episode. But I remember my brain going immediately to, oh my gosh, there's so much I don't know. How much can I ever heal if I don't remember? I don't remember these things. I'm never going to be able to get well. Kind of feeling that if I needed to, and I didn't know if I could handle knowing it all. I didn't know that I would be able to do that. But, pretty quickly within a week or two, I dropped out of school. And it's taken me a really long time to say I dropped out of school instead of I left school.
Those are hard words, right?
Yeah, words are powerful.
Because you feel like you're quitting.
Yeah, and I worked on making myself very unremarkable by being remarkable. I was president of my class and captain of the volleyball team, and I had good grades. So what was I going to tell people? Why was I leaving school? I had nothing that fit my narrative. And so, I dropped out of school because I couldn't do it. And it's funny because that was around my birthday too. February is a really significant month for me. Clearly.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is February?
It's just significant because I realized I left GW. I remember
logically, I should know this.
Oh, I'm an Aquarius.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So I remember staying one extra weekend to celebrate my birthday at GW, and then going home. So it was right in that time period. And, home was ugly. Home was far from sexy. Home was snotty and not getting out of bed and not showering and yelling at my mom for, cooking things that I couldn't eat or I wouldn't eat. I remember there was one time my mom makes homemade marinara sauce, and I saw her put grated cheese in it, and I literally lost my shit. Like, I accused her of lying to me that she's never put that in before, and she's been trying to get me to eat things that I don't want to eat. There was so much going on. I was in therapy 3 times a week individually, and then I was adding group. And so it was not without work, and it was not without, lots of thoughts of I'm broken beyond repair. Like, I really believe I was broken beyond repair, that, my life was going to be just this for the rest of my life. And, how was I going to at least quote unquote be normal? Like, at that point I couldn't even, I'd cry for no reason. I was seriously depressed. I'd cry for no reason. I just, all the things, my body hurt. And I couldn't even imagine being in the world, passing as, a human being at that point. But lots and lots of work. And it brought me to Raquel, because that summer, after doing a bunch of work, I was going to do like a trial on life. My brother was living in LA with his now wife. And so there was a safety net, and I needed to make up, in my mind, some courses. So I enrolled at UCLA for the summer and took classes at UCLA. And at the end of it, I was like, oh, I had the best summer ever. I'm going to stay. And my parents were great. They packed stuff up and shipped it to me. But the reality was, by the time Thanksgiving came, I remember flying home and remembering that I had not been sober in 14 days, actually. It's like when I was partying with that group of people, and I had not been sober in 14 days. And I'm not a huge drinker. So that was significant for me. And what hit me was, great job, Nancy. Guess what? You go wherever you are. Like, I had caught up to myself, and there was no escaping me, was sort of the thought. There was no escaping this. So, many years of work, many years of in and out of therapy, working with therapists who were not good, lying to therapists, being really good at manipulating therapists, finding some really good therapists that I made significant progress with, and am here today as the person I am because they were able to guide me and with their wisdom teach me and make things make sense to me. The last therapist I saw, Jessica Oifer, here in LA, I remember I went to her saying that I was there to fix my marriage. Like, I was here to save my marriage. And she looked at me and said, no, you're not. You're here to work on you and see how that impacts your marriage. And that's not so long ago, but that was the first time I walked in and I was given permission to just have it be about me and forever. I'd been in and out of therapy during our marriage for all sorts of different things because I was the identified patient. If I could just get good, right? If I could get good, if I was given 0 credit for all the work I had done. Because I remember in a couple's therapy session yelling at my ex-husband, like, fuck you. Like, I've worked hard to get where I am. I am not that person that you want to keep making me into. You know, and the narrative of my marriage, what we both bought into was that, yeah, it was me and I'd be the same in any relationship. And, you know, here I had this really doting, lovely man. So, you know, I felt like that's the best it was going to get for a long time. And I didn't have evidence to the contrary at that time. So, you know, and in my marriage, I remember being with my therapist, Jessica, and her saying, you realize that you recreated your abuse relationship. And I looked at her, I'm like, I did not recreate my abuse relationship. She goes, you have no voice. You have no needs. You make sure your husband is happy at your expense and you're surviving on breadcrumbs. And I thought, I've recreated my abuse relationship I was so mad because with all the work I had done, I landed right back in it. You know, like I did the same damn thing. Unknowing, you know, and so unaware of it. So that was another big aha moment, is like, wow, these patterns that I'm bringing forward, even with all the work and even with all the awareness. And, you know, some of my best work came out of that. Some of the work that's led me to here, I mean, most of the work was done around that, to realize like it happened slowly and insidiously. And I was totally unaware that I was doing it. But I was good at it. So I could fall into that role really easily. So, you know, my story goes all over the place and I can tell you all the details of different avenues of it. But ultimately, I think the value of my story is the fact that I should be way more fucked up than I am, given my experiences, but I'm not. Like, the work I've done and the community around me and the support I had has really given me an opportunity to thrive and move past being broken beyond repair. And whatever it was that got me here, and I know I can say strength and tenacity, but there was a voice inside of me that even when I was at UCLA and like $800 worth of parking tickets because I did not move my car, that said, if you fuck this up, you're going to be mad at yourself later. You need to go to class. So where that voice came from and who that was at the time, like, I don't know, but I know that I made it and I'm thriving and I am willing and easily able to talk about it. Then that's what I need to be doing. You know, that's what I want to be doing. I intend and desire and expect that I'm going to be someone who changes the narrative, for sure. And there are going to be people who start telling their story and gain courage and peace in the things they've been through and gratitude for all of it. And the value of my story is the ugly. I hated people who were like me, that were at the end and everything was polished and pretty and never talked about the ugly, where I will, but bring it. Ask me a question. I had someone today, Mark Lee asked me a question. He's like, well, what about the rest of your family? Have they healed? Like, brilliant question. And it wasn't until recently that I realized that, gosh, they were all going through their own journey while trying to support me at the same time, which had to be incredibly, incredibly difficult. So, you know, let's talk about the ugly. Let's talk about the snotty. I'm never going to tell you the details of my abuse. There's no value in that. Right. But the details of, you know, thoughts.
I don't even know the details. Like, I think Courtney mentioned something the other day, and I was like, I don't know if she ever told me that. She's like, I'm like, you know, and I was like, it's not like she's going to be upset that you.
No.
And you shouldn't ask.
Detail, because I've never asked for details.
Right.
That's one thing too, is I've never been one to be like, ooh, none of that. Like, whatever Nancy wants to share with me, but
you know, and it's like, I think in the right times and in this place in my life, I'm welcoming people to ask. Now, how I answer questions about details, that's a whole different story. You know, I'm happy to share the different ways that, you know, my boundaries were transgressed and name them, but there's no value in me explaining each situation and every detail of it. There just isn't. And, you know, and it's a bad enough picture that you're going to have in your head anyway, that people create immediately, you know, when they hear what I've been through. So that there's no value in that. But, you know, being able to have a hard conversation with someone who's been there and talk about every cell in my body was wired to do exactly what it did: sexual touch, pleasure. And, you know, it all got completely intermeshed in the wrong ways. But I can say that. And I know it's hard for people to hear, except for people who've been there. Like, at times the abuse was pleasurable. It's insane, right? It sounds crazy, but my body did what it did. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. And that's hard for people to hear, but like, people need to hear it. And the people who've been there need to hear it. Like, it's okay. I'm saying it out loud. I'm saying it out loud for you. Like I understand, I get it. And there are places that are really hard to go. And so if I need to talk more in depth about it, I am really grounded in where I'm at, and my boundaries are good. So I can tell what I feel is appropriate to tell and I want to tell. And I think it's helpful. And I also am no problem, declining to answer. So
you shouldn't. Absolutely. I recently had a conversation with someone, and we were just talking about, like, she had written a book and she was like, what I wrote in the book is what you get. That's it. What's in the book is in the book. And if you have any other questions, I do not have to answer those questions. All the information I care to share is in the book. And if I want to share more information, I will when I'm ready. Yeah. But you can ask me all you want. I don't have to give you an answer. I don't have to give you a response. I don't have to give you an explanation. I don't have to.
Right. Just because I'm talking about it doesn't give you access to everything. You know, and that's not to not be authentic or hide certain things. There's just not value in some of it in terms of, moving the narrative forward and getting people to understand and be empathetic and whatever, all the things that need to happen around it. But I also think it depends on the circumstance and who I'm talking to. If I was talking to someone who also had a history of abuse, I might have a very different conversation than I would, on a live show. But very few people know the details. I would say there's a couple of therapists and, little details that have gone to people in my life. But when I did your show, Darlene, I had conversations with many different members of my family who were afraid to watch. They weren't sure they could. And their fear was that I was going to talk about the details and they didn't want to know. So reassuring them as well, like that's not what this is about at all. This is about changing the narrative and sitting with discomfort long enough for us to shift and, bring this to a place where, we're talking to our kids differently about their bodies and their boundaries and, creating no safe space for, perpetrators to hide because we're talking about it. And we are going to be adults that receive children, lovingly and understandingly and believe when they come to us, because if it felt bad, then it was bad. That's really what it's about. So yeah, that's me. That's my story. Not to make light of it, but it's, I've lived with it my whole life. So I'm pretty comfortable with it. So, and I appreciate you and other people who allow me to speak about it, because this is bigger than me and it has to be. It just has to be.
So many other people that we don't know of, and those stories that are still in the dark, people that are still living guilt and in shame and in pain, and it just takes maybe one little clip or one little moment of catching and saying, okay, wow, there's light, there's other ways, there's resources, there's support, I'm not alone. So it's so important to share those stories and to be here and to want to hear them and to want to talk about them and share them and support you. Absolutely. It's incredible that you're opening up and you're leading the way with this conversation. So thank you for coming here.
Well, of course. I've got the best support and I've gotten the best responses, and it doesn't feel brave to me. People are giving me a lot of credit for being brave, but I'm not scared to tell it.
It's okay, Gabe.
I have to ask you this, Nan.
Yeah.
Do you not, well, maybe it's subsided a little bit, but do you not get anxiety like when you do share it? Like, are there moments where like, not now, but in the beginning where you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, in the beginning, like, I don't know if it was about the sharing or just about the spotlight being on me or, being live. I
think it's just everyone first reacting to it, right? That initial, how are people going to react once they hear this news? Once I open up about this, are they going to? Yeah.
I've relinquished control of my story. I've completely relinquished control of it. It's out there and it's going to be doing its own thing. It's, I've always been able to be part of the narrative. I've been able to see people when they hear it and been able to respond to what's going on for them and answer their questions. And I just don't have that anymore and I don't need it. So I would say I feel totally comfortable now, for sure. I've talked about it enough and I go on and it's not a problem. But you, Reggie, and Brian, Reggie Waterman, Brian Schulman, got me through my first major anxiety hump over all of this. I'm going to let Raquel explain what they decided to do, which was beautiful. And I don't know if other people really understood it, but for me, it was exactly what I needed. But yeah, I really don't, Raquel. I
still get anxiety over when I talk about my stuff. I don't know why. It's my own insecurities. But anywho,
Yeah, I'll share it.
It was kind of funny because we're like, how are we going to like make light of this, but in a way that like she'll appreciate it. So we went ahead and changed our profiles and our titles so that we were totally confusing her when she was on the live. And what I don't remember, we were saying all this stuff, we were being silly, but unfortunately some people took it as like we were being mean. And that was where I kind of was like, no, like you don't understand. Like this is what
I addressed it on the show. I did. And we were on Gabe's show. So it's, it definitely was a comfortable place to be. But what was happening is someone had used my name and picture and was commenting as me. And I was totally like, what is happening here? And then
when you guys did that to me later,
I'm glad that
is what it's like, because it is super confusing.
Yeah, we all became Raquel when you were talking somewhere and started commenting.
But yeah, so we knew that she needed to kind of like be able to laugh while she was talking about it. So we did that. And I know her well enough to know that that's what she needed, right? Like some people.
I remember that. Yeah, you guys have talked about this a little bit.
She's
I am. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was exactly what I needed, which I know is
friendships.
Yeah, hard for people to, if you've seen the episode or go and find it, it might be a little hard to understand why that was so perfect, but it just was. It just was.
Yeah.
Oh my, okay. We're going to wrap this up. I'm going to we've been going at it and chit chatting. We've talked about so many different things with friendships and conversations and of course the mental health and our experiences. So ladies, I don't know. I don't want to stop. I don't want to like end the stream. I'm like, but I know we got to go. Time to wrap it up.
But we could always do it again.
Yeah, exactly. We're not disappearing.
I know. You guys, your ladies are definitely not shy.
I know. Nick's like, time to schedule part 2. You're right.
Exactly. I think so. Because if you keep
moving
going,
encore.
But this is exactly what it today again was meant to be. It's about friendships and how you guys have supported each other and what we've been through as women, what we continue to go through. Our experiences need to be validated, all of them, because that was your experience, and it's you got to, what's the word, like me, like care about it and be like, oh, okay, so I don't know, I'm like,
we get to normalize it is sort of what I think of.
Normalize it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's quite the word, but that's what's coming up.
Thank you. Okay, I appreciate it. Right, exactly. So these conversations, again, it really just brings everybody around to say, okay, yeah, I've been there, and that I hear that, and okay, that me too, and okay, I'm not in this alone, and whoever's kind of going through it right now with the times that we're in, and I don't really always talk about specifically the times, but we all know what I'm implying. And when people are isolated, and right now we have video and we have these ways to communicate, it's important that we have these conversations.
But also to show that people are willing to be there and listen and support, right? Like I think even when probably Nancy told me for the first time, or Courtney or whatever, like I don't remember how I reacted, but I don't think I was like, it was more like, okay, I'm your friend, like let's go through this, right? So it's like the same talking about our stuff. It just goes to show you how many people are willing to be there and listen. And like, yes, there are a lot of judgmental people in this world. Yes, there are a lot of closed-minded people, but there are also a good amount of people that are non-judgmental, that are open-minded, that are compassionate, empathetic, all those things. And, we're also missing out on those people by not sharing our stories, because that's exactly why I've been connected with so many incredible people on this platform, is because I've been open about it, and that's attracted people that I want in my world, right? And same with Nancy. Like I think Nancy, you can be a total testament to how much it surprised you how people are embracing you in this way, and they're not being like shunned by your story. It's the complete opposite. They're being drawn to you, and they want to be there for you, and they want to be that support system. So that's what's so cool about it, is that we also have to let others kind of show us. They do.
Let it be received, right? Let it be received. Nobody jumped off. They were still commenting and sticking with us. We didn't, chase anyone away. So those people are out there. And again, you know, I was very lucky. Raquel, I don't remember you having any sort of like big reaction to it. But I guess that's, you know, you find the people you know that are going to be able to, you know, handle it, because you learn about them and their depths and their integrity and their experiences, and you just, you know. So
Yes.
That's right. Oh, so important. You guys have brought such Okay, all right. Last week we ended with music. I got to work on the music scenario, so we'll see if I can get one of the super producers.
Manages to have all that music on his live stream and not get, you know, fined or in trouble for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're really good. We'll get it figured out. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, I mean, they've got really good resources with the royalty-free stuff, so we'll get it taken care of. But awesome. I don't know. Again, I don't want to end, but we're going to end. We're going to end.
It's like party on Discord. Woo woo! After party.
Yeah, they're always dropping the links for that.
Discord party. I could go on all night, but I won't.
Yes. Okay. So I guess this is it.
For real.
Yeah. Darren and I are going to do something. Just stay tuned. Darren and I are teaming up. Hip hop duo.
I can't wait.
Real.
Get on Discord.
It's easy.
Okay. Well, I have the app on my phone because Travis made me get it, so maybe I'll.
Travis made me do it. Hashtag Travis made me do it.
Hashtag Travis made me do it.
Oh boy! All right, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll accept responsibility for that one. He'll take the hit. No links unless you are a mod. Okay. Well. Okay, my beautiful friends.
I don't know what that means. We'll discuss later.
Yeah. No, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to end it now. We're going to end it here. I just wanted to say I appreciate you, ladies. You guys have been wonderful. You guys, ladies. I need to stop saying guys. It's something I'm working on. It's one of those things. It's like cut out the guys and say people, humans, friends, souls, spirits, energy. So something I'm working on.
Magical beings.
Magical beings, unicorns of.
Love you too, Travis.
Yeah.
But
thanks for all the support. Everybody's been like super.
D-Roo says no hip hop for DJ. Okay, he's not making any. Okay, all right, D-Roo. All right. Okay, ladies. Yeah, so this is it. Thank you so much. I feel like I've said my goodbyes. I'm gonna close you guys on out, send you to the back. I'm gonna go ahead and close out with the chat to let them know who my next guest is. So I appreciate you guys. Ladies, appreciate you ladies for being here. We're not guys.
I'm gonna get self-correct. I'm gonna give you credit for the self-correct. Very well done.
It's one that I'm really working. I didn't realize how much I say it.
Yeah.
And I need to be more mindful of that word. It's something that personally
it's actually a really important one.
Yeah.
I try to be aware also, so I know the struggle.
Thank you. I just my own personal thing, nothing that I, trying to share. But if I correct myself, hey, I'm going to try to correct myself because I know for me, it's what I want to do and I want to be more inclusive. And that's not a word that's very inclusive. So, okay. So thank you, my dear lady.
For reals, you got to just kick us out,
Have a great night. I'm going to right now. Okay. Bye, Nancy.
Bye. Love you.
Okay, Raquel, you're leaving next. Yeah, no, you're leaving. Okay, but you were like the guest. You were like supposed to be the
like this is like part for the. This is a thing where I get hijacked on my lives, and I love it. Like
I know. We're all doing the kazoo music.
It's all good. It's all I can share the light.
Yeah, I know you're good at that, and it was so special. You guys, see, there I go again. You ladies are such a duo, and I would not be where I'm at without either one of you. So this is why it was absolutely important.
I'm so proud.
Thank you, my dear, my amiga, representing in that sense. Okay, thank you. You have a good night. I appreciate you being a part of today's show. Okay, we've made it. I've got them out of here. That was a tough one. They are absolute dolls. They have such powerful stories, big personalities, so much energy. And again, like I said, I couldn't be here without them. So we're going to close this up. We've made it. I don't even think I asked a question. We just had a fantastic conversation. So I appreciate everyone that has been part of tonight's conversation, bringing awareness, having these conversations. We're here for the greater good. We are here to create more opportunities, promote healing, promote change. This is intended to highlight silenced voices. I say this every week. If you need assistance, we want to be available. Reach out. We're on LinkedIn. Nancy's on LinkedIn. Raquel's on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. We're always available to help to keep people moving forward, getting over their trauma, finding resources, finding support. We want to encourage connection and compassion and gratitude. So with that, I think we're going to close it out. Thank you, Raquel. Your positivity and inspiration is always truly appreciated. Next week, I'm going to have another amazing guest. He's a new live streamer here on LinkedIn. Well, not me, but somebody else on LinkedIn waiting. So they're going to be here next week to talk about their experiences with abuse, addiction, depression. They currently inspire others with their daily word. He's seeking to be an ambitious attorney with a mission of public interest involving employment discrimination and civil rights violations. He's the aspiring attorney, Carl Sean Watkins. So I hope everyone comes in next week. You guys, group, people, souls, trying to get rid of the G word. Please stay tuned. Check us out next week. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on Twitch or Facebook. And we will be back next week with our next guest, having these continued conversations that need to be known. Thank you, everybody. And you guys all have a fantastic night. Bye.